Today I fucked up by eating 8 fiber 1 bars in one sitting. Honestly, I just am lazy plus like the flavor of the cinnamon fiber 1 square. To be quite frank, they're addicting for me. Thought, oh whatever, the fiber won't be that bad. Wrong, bitch. Been farting all night and waking up from cramps and now have been seated at the toilet since 4:25 a.m. It's now 4:50, dropping gassier farts more akin to bombs than anything else. It's actually insane to explain because until you've experienced it, which I hope you never do, you'll never get how gas why you get lol. And doing this in a college dorm's communal bathroom personally is hell. At least it's 4:50 a.m. lol. No shits yet, but that will be coming soon, for sure. Have a full day of work and classes today and a midterm tomorrow. Hikey very worried about that because I do not want to A, shit my pants, or B, skip my commitments because I have been shitting non-stop lol. Oh, and did I forget to mention, I live in a one-room double with a roommate? Yeah, not the brightest idea in retrospect, and I would say I learned my lesson, but last time I ate 6 of these bars, back in December, and said I'd never do it again, and look where I am now. TLDR, digestive system is fucked after stupid lazy person eats too many fiber 1 bars in one day instead of actual normal food. I ate 2 of these accidentally, mistaking them for protein bars. That afternoon I took the biggest poop of my life by a long shot. About an hour after that, I took the second biggest poop of my life. Never again. I worked as a cashier in a big grocery store when fiber 1 bars first came out. The sample people went around and gave us each a coupon for a free box, so pretty much all of us bought a box over the weekend. When I came to work on Monday, every single one of us was farting during our whole shift. We all called them fart bars after that, and I still call them that to this day. There's a guy in another sub who can't finish their colonoscopy drink. You guys should hang out. Yeah, not the brightest idea in retrospect, and I would say I learned my lesson, but last time I ate 6 of these bars, back in December, and said I'd never do it again, and look where I am now. So, around a month ago, you did this, had a terrible experience, and still chose to do it again? Bruh. Op walking around RN. GIF, Giphy, K4M39-OAGWW. This is the second time you've done this? Today I fucked up by accidentally flirting with a teenager. So there's this girl I sit next to in my college biology class. I got the vibe that she thought I was cool on the first day. Today I had a conversation with her in the library and gave her my number saying, "Nice talking to you," at the end. During the conversation, she mentioned being a dual enrollment student, and I didn't know what that meant. I looked it up after I got home, and it means she's a high school student. I'm concerned that I could get into trouble with a counselor or parent for this. I plan on apologizing the next time I see her in class the day after tomorrow. The only flirtatious thing I did was give her my number, and I didn't say anything weird. Too long did not read. I didn't know what dual enrollment meant and accidentally gave my number to a high school student. Yeah, I don't think you need to be too worried about this one. And you know, high school kids are perfectly capable of being interested in college students, so you might really have picked up an interest from her. Now it's up to you to be the adult, dumb, tis, in the situation and let her know that you're not interested in dating a high schooler. I mean, there's technically nothing wrong if you're a freshman in college and she's a senior in high school, other than you might get some looks. But if you're an upperclassman and she's 16, run away. Apologizing is going to seem weirder than just leaving it alone. If she contacts you again, literally just say that you are sorry, you didn't realize she was in high school. On that note, in my first year at university, a guy who lived across from me was dating a girl in high school, and she was older than he was. She was 18, he was 17. Depending on the relative ages of the two of you, it may be fine. Dual enroll only goes to kids in their last 2 years of high school. So she could very well be 18. She could also be 16. So you know if you like her and you're like 19 or so it could be okish. I am not encouraging you. Be cool either way. Without knowing the age gap, I don't see any issue. If you're 21 and they 18, a 3-year age gap is nothing. If you're 25 and they 17, then I can see how that's a TIFU. If she reaches out, just ask her age. You don't wind up on a list for that. Just don't escalate. Today I fucked up by telling my friend I got rejected a few times last year. I admit I shouldn't share these things, especially with woman friends, but I did. In 2024 I, 26M, got rejected 5 times by women I asked out. Never had a girlfriend, and recently I lost my V-card to escorts after last year's failure. It wasn't an epic fail though. 5 rejections in a year doesn't seem like a lot to me. A month? Sure, but not a year. Still, my woman friend is acting like it's an insane amount. After telling her this, she says she's never heard of someone getting rejected so many times in 1 year. While I don't understand why she thinks 5 is a huge number of rejections, I do understand not to share everything. The only embarrassing thing, I didn't even tell her this part, is that I got reported to HR once by one of the women I asked out, and that's actually why I stopped and hired an escort. ETA. HR said I did nothing wrong and they pretty much said they only spoke with me about because they had to per their job requirements. Too long did not read. I shared too much with my friend, she freaked and now isn't talking. I saw a guy at a hostel in London get rejected more than 5 times in about 10 minutes. How in the world are you asking someone out so inappropriately that you were reported to HR? The hour thing is concerning. But being rejected 5 times? Meh, most men get rejected constantly. Par for the course unless you're model-esque. At first, I thought she was an asshole, but after browsing your post history, I am wondering if this is all you talk about. It really seems like this is taking up a lot of bandwidth for you, and that could be the source of rejections. You mentioned OCD in another post, are you in treatment? I think a lot of women don't necessarily conceptualize, because they're used to being asked out rather than asking anyone themselves, that you gotta shoot your shot knowing that 80% of the time it's gonna be a no, especially outside of dating apps where there's a baseline expectation that you're looking for a romantic connection. Not throwing shade or any misogynist BS, it's just a perspective thing. 5 times really isn't a lot, and as long as you're being respectful and taking your no's gracefully you're gonna be fine. And yeah, best to avoid the work stuff as others have said. Getting rejected 5 times is not weird at all. Getting reported to HR? Worth evaluating how you present yourself.